start with a Warriors win and a disappointing game from Anthony Davis.
Oh, boy.
11 shots, 11 points.
Oh, boy.
Here's AD this series. Game 1, LeBron was ready to put his number in the rafters.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
He did, in fact.
Yeah, they had ceremony and everything. Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain, AD, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Game 2, 11 points. Brew?
What about Powell? Didn't Powell just get his number up there, too?
Yeah.
Powell,
Yeah. I kind of consider him like...
All right, let's get this thing going.
Okay,
Let's get this party started.
Okay, jeez.
Wow, Brew.
Wow, Brew went on the herd, and now he doesn't have time for anything.
Pau Gasol.
That's exactly
Fair
right.
point.
Oh
Go, bro.
gosh.
How
All right.
concerning is AD's inconsistency?
Concerning. Totally, completely, utterly, like 100%. It couldn't be any more concerning.
Oh.
I mean, sir, if you're the Lakers, your way to win this series is for Anthony Davis to be great or impactful virtually every night. He might not win, some might say, oh, he only needs to do it 4 times. No, he needs to have an impact every night. And that doesn't mean going for 30 and 23 like he did in Game 1. Okay, Steph last night had 20 and 12 assists and controlled the game. All right, AD, Nick, could do this. I could take 24 and 12, but a huge presence, not just defensively, but offensively as well. Okay? You got 11 points and 7 rebounds. Kevon Looney, you played 3 times as many minutes as Kevon Looney, and he out-rebounded you. And he was sick. All right? He looked sick out there. You could see that he wasn't right, and he still out-rebounded you. Anthony Davis, you showed him missing shots. Where were all those shots coming from?
The 8
Mid-range.
to 11. Yeah, short mid-range.
Newsflash. Because you seem to be,
you're
going to give him a pass. I'm not. He had 1 shot in the restricted area.
Not the restricted
He had 3 near the restricted area.
Yep.
Newsflash, Anthony Davis. You ain't Kevin Durant. You're not Dirk Nowitzki, and you're not even Joel Embiid when it comes to shooting outside. You're a decent outside shooter for a big who should get his bread and butter down low. That's fine. But why are you shooting all these jump shots against a team that has nobody to stop?
So that's the key. If I may jump in, because you got almost everything right there, except for guessing what I was going to say, which is I'm not going to give him a pass. Now, yesterday I defended.
To like those
those are a lot
footers.
of. No, I don't mind
15
anything
footers.
free throw line and in. I don't mind. And what he said after the game is correct. He was taking those shots in Game 1 and making them, but that does not give him a pass for the overall performance. Now, yesterday I made the case, and I believe it to be accurate, that he had gotten too much grief up to that point in the postseason for a guy who's been the 3rd best guy in the whole league this postseason. Steph's been better. Jimmy's been better. There has not been another guy who has been inarguably better than Anthony Davis. But yesterday was different for 2 reasons. One is, in his previous poor offensive nights, he was still dominant defensively. Yesterday he was not. But the more galling part about it and the more frustrating part about it is the Warriors made a bet last night that Anthony Davis would get out-muscled and out-toughed and pushed around by a guy 5 inches shorter than him, and they were proven right. I don't totally buy the idea that Kevon Looney was too sick to start, but he was well enough to play. Well,
because you know this. We've talked about this before. He could only play about 20 minutes. So if you start him, Kerr talked about it. Now your rotations are strange. You know what I mean? You play him 5 straight minutes. Now it's like, we only got 15 minutes
We have seen the Warriors in the playoffs in years past start a center that plays far less than 20 minutes. Again, starts and then barely plays. I think it was partially illness. Partially, we want to get another shooter on the court. The Looney-Draymond combo minutes in Game 1 were a disaster. And what is the downside to it? Because the upside is our offense will be better, removing Looney, adding a shooter. The downside theoretically is that Anthony Davis is going to feast.
Well, rebounding-wise, right.
And that he should be able to. Draymond Green is an all-time great defender. But Anthony Davis is so much taller than him. He should be able to win that matchup.
Where at? Where should he win the matchup?
Should be able to win it on the low block.
Yep.
Yes. Bruce,
He ain't on the low block.
I understand. We're agreeing.
He's never on the low
I
block.
feel like you're arguing with a point I didn't make.
I'm just saying.
If the Warriors were to make the finals and play Philly, I do not think they would say, we can run this starting lineup out there because Draymond's such a great defender and Embiid's not going to take advantage of it. I think they would believe that Embiid would take advantage of it. And that is what's frustrating. The loss is actually not that frustrating to me. We all said yesterday we thought the Warriors were going to win. Warriors are supposed to win that game. But it is baffling. Baffling's the wrong word. It is when you have such a great game and then the other team, to me, kind of insults you a bit and says we're taking out the only guy that we play that's your size because we think you can't duplicate it, and then you play right into their hands and don't duplicate it.
Okay, so Steve Kerr made that bet. Yeah. I was upset watching the game, Brew, that Darvin Ham was not feeding AD the ball. Darvin Ham's game plan at points in the game was have AD float around the three-point line, set a pick.
Right.
Here I am,
Why?
I'm over here. If I won a contest, Brew, that I got to play in a Lakers game, Darvin Ham would be like, hey, watch that footage from AD game 2. Just do that. Hang around and set a pick, get in the way, maybe crash the rim, see if you can get a rebound.
You're right.
But so why didn't Darvin Ham run a play for him? Nick made fun of me because I put it on Twitter. They came out of a timeout. AD is cold and can't get going. They run a play for D'Angelo Russell. Fine, it is what it is. But if everybody who has played basketball, watches basketball, follows the NBA, knows that AD's a bit of a roller coaster, why doesn't Darvin Ham say, not today? I'm going to feed you, feed you, feed you.
You're absolutely right. And I don't, AD is definitely to blame, mostly to blame, but Darvin Ham, even LeBron, he listens to LeBron. LeBron can say, look, let's get AD down low. Let's get him something. All right? And AD just does, look, he has said throughout his career, he's not a center. I don't want to play center. Because he doesn't want to go down there and bang for 35 minutes. Who does that nowadays? Nobody. Joel Embiid doesn't even do that. Nikola Jokic doesn't even do that anymore. Nobody's asking you to go down there like Patrick Ewing. Mm-hmm. But in a game like this, and I picked the Warriors, so I'm just saying, you got such an advantage. Get your butt on the block, call for the ball, drop, step, and score. Time after time after time, and that'll open things up for you.
Force them to make the adjustment. And I'm not trying to undersell Draymond's greatness as a defensive player. But part of what makes Draymond great is his ability to guard so many different positions. It is not just that, oh my goodness, he is unbelievable at shutting down the opposing team's big man. It's that he can get out on the perimeter. He can give LeBron trouble. He can more than credibly guard opposing team centers, but that is not his natural role. And it's a way to get him in foul trouble. Very quickly, my criticism of Darvin Ham is actually different than your guys's. In the first game, AD played 44 minutes. We talked about it. He was gassed at the end. They clearly were all in on that game. Last night, when he didn't have it, and the team was, by midway through the third or early in the third, letting go of the rope. Anthony Davis, through 3 quarters last night, had played 33 of 36 minutes. That is a problem not just because he might wear down with it going every other day. You've got to find a rotation. You've got to experiment with lineups in games that are getting away with you where you can survive without Anthony Davis on the court. The Warriors, to their credit, they all year and even during the postseason, Kerr will take Steph Curry off the court, even in round 1, when they were dying during it, trying to figure out what lineup can we use without him out there. And Ham is just like, okay, I have one other center, I'll put in Gabriel. That's not the answer.
The only answer might be if you had LeBron at center.
Well, I would say Hachimura and LeBron as your front court and shooters, and just see if you can sacrifice defense for offense.
LeBron can also punish them inside.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm glad, even though LeBron was hitting shots, I'm glad if I'm Golden State that he's shooting 3-pointers and long jumpers rather than either posting or going to the hole.
It can't be 40. The plan can't be 43 minutes of Anthony Davis and 5 minutes of Wenyen Gabriel. That won't work for 4 rounds. So yesterday, well, I understand you don't think they're going to get there, but yesterday would have been an opportunity to try stuff out and they didn't do it. That was disappointing.
Klay goes 8 for 11 from 3, 30 points. What message do you think the Warriors sent?
Well, I think Klay is completely right. They didn't send a message to LeBron. LeBron's not going to be fazed. He stared at this same team down 3-1 going back to San Francisco or Oakland and wasn't fazed. So that was the correct statement. But I think they should have sent a message to everyone else, to the public, to the onlookers, to the pundits, to the naysayers, to the doubters, to the Nick Wrights.
Why?
That we are here. The championship still
Look at this guy.
goes
He can't
through
even
San
say it
Francisco.
without
I'm
laughing.
serious.
Bro.
The championship still goes through us. People have mocked it. Oh, it was an easy championship. A lot of the teams, were hurt and banged up, and it was just kind of fluky. And
who mocked it? No.
And they can't win on the road, and they were 20. They were 10-10.
Bro,
they were 20-20.
Bro,
They were 30.
those were all facts.
Well, how?
And they're
What are
1-1.
the facts now?
And in the playoffs, they're 5-4.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a fact.
That's a 500
I'm gonna give you a
team.
fact.
Yeah, give
because
it.
you and I, know this. We have always said over the past few years, the one team, like I felt the one team last year that would scare me about Golden State would be the Lakers because of their size. And guess what? We got an answer for your size. It's to put 4 non-shooters out there, especially because your big don't want to play big. That's if the big wanted to play big, that'd be different. But he doesn't.
Okay, listen.
Temporarily.
Yeah, last night it was an answer. Klay Thompson hit 8 threes. They have not lost. And Klay Thompson, by the way, has hit more threes in consecutive games in this series than he's hit at any time in the postseason since Game 6 and 7 of the conference finals in 2016. Game 6, Klay, the game he hit 11 threes. They've never lost a playoff game when he's hit 8 threes. The Warriors were never going to lose this game. And the pundits that Bruce talking about me, I do believe Wildes that when the series started, I said it's going to have the exact same beats of the Memphis series, right? That's Lakers win 1, 3, 4, and 6. Thus far, I'm 2 for 2. Okay. But I will tell you who sent a message last night, and it's a guy whose name no one has mentioned. Old Eric Lewis sent a message last night, and the curse of Patrick Beverley lives on. You guys might be like, Eric Lewis, who's that? Well, let me show you one of the most recent times the Lakers have encountered one Eric Lewis, how that went. That was the famous game against the Boston Celtics when the game ended like this. There is no foul call. LeBron gets upset. And then Patrick Beverley decides to befool himself and try to show up a referee. A referee's Eric Lewis. Okay. And last night, I'm not saying he was getting his get back, but all I'm saying is the Lakers shot 0 free throws for the first 22 minutes of that basketball game. All I'm saying is a team that has lived at the free throw line.
That's your answer?
I'm just saying it's what happened.
Warriors weren't making a parade to the free throw line either.
The Warriors were dead last this year in free throws, and the Lakers were first. Yeah. So I would say that those are not. I'm just saying.
That's disappointing.
I think
that's more disappointing than AD.
What's disappointing? Just a fact. Do you think it's coincidence? Do you think it's coincidence that the Lakers had fewer free throws in the first half than any game they've had all year?
I hope Darvin Ham got more answers than that.
What? Why is that disappointing?
Dusty, I have good news.
Why is that disappointing?
The Wheel of Toes. It's no longer the worst take of the week.
Oh, okay. You thought there wasn't?
I don't know.
Well, no. I mean, we've talked about the free throws and the Lakers getting fouls, and all of a sudden, a guy that a Laker tried to embarrass on national television gets shown up. I don't know. It was just
he's no longer a Laker. He might get a ring,
I know, but he had to get his get back. In all seriousness, can I ask you one question, Brew, about last night? Do you think they're going to stick with that starting lineup?
The Warriors?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, that's a good question. You might try it. I mean, obviously the Lakers are going to make an adjustment and get ready for it, but they might stick with it. I mean, what Draymond say last round? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I think that I don't know if it'll be JaMychal Green. I don't know exactly. Maybe it would be Poole in that role. I don't know. But I don't
know if you can go that far.
I don't think that they want to play Looney and Draymond at the same time. I think they're going to try to avoid that as much as possible, which would mean one of them isn't starting. Now, before we move on, time for our favorite Lakers segment, Wildes Wild Thoughts. And I have a disappointing announcement, America.
Okay.
Kevin Wildes is evidently auditioning to be on a different show.
No, I'm not.
Because Kevin Wildes knows his job during Laker games is to send out witty thoughts. Right. Unfortunately, All he did last night was post JJ Redick thirst traps of look at my film breakdown. Here's my terrible video taken from my phone off my television screen. You don't even have the rights to play it. Can you send out an original thought and not a quarter of your TV screen? Like, hey, why aren't we running these, horns down?
You know what, Wildes?
What?
I think there's a little Harden or AD in you.
What does that
mean?
When
when we weren't putting your tweets on TV,
you know what?
It wasn't a big deal. You could just do it in relative anonymity. They were awesome.
Yeah.
And now that we give you a segment,
this is
highlighting your tweet, you're not even doing it anymore.
I sent out 3 interesting tweets.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. One was LeBron falling down for no reason, modern mystery of the NBA.
Okay.
That I was out there like the guy from Unsolved Mysteries. Why is he falling down? Tweet number 2, Jordan Poole pushed somebody. I forgot who it was.
They're video breakdowns.
Yeah,
you're not
I'm
Tim
coded
Legler.
analysis.
No, you're not.
Can we get a telestrator for the next segment? I'm going to break down some floppy action.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying. This is what he wants, Brew. He's auditioning for a new show. I don't know what the show is, but he wants to be in the. He wants to be Merrill Hodge.
Look here, guys. Come here.
Yeah, this is what he wants to do.
Come up through here. AD crash. When you saw Draymond crashing the boards, come around here, floppy action. You gotta run the floppy action. You gotta run it. Why didn't you run more?
Floppy?
Oh, come on. That's the which one, you know.
See, this is what I'm saying.
You know. Coming up next.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.